Welcome back to 21 Minute Reads with me, Maya D. This is kind of like my virtual book club because in these 5 minute or so videos, I share with you my takeaways from my current reading. Right now, that is Hot Feet and Social Change. Well, as a part of the Read 21 and 21 challenge, I'm reading 21 minutes per day, every day, as an action of self-love, as an investment into myself, and as a way of providing myself with some consistency in an ever-changing world. I hope that you will join me in this journey by liking this video, subscribing to the channel, and commenting down below, because that's where the dialogue happens. Having in mind that while I have several decades of experience as an educator, performer, and researcher, I'm not the know-all be-all for this book. I'm simply creating a space for dialogue, discussion, and growth. Well, this week I read pages 191 through 221, and here are my takeaways. Takeaway number 1, forms of power. So this is a term that Yvonne Daniels uses in their section of the book. And what I found so powerful about this section was the charge at the end. In order to save ourselves, we need to celebrate and organize. Those are wonderful ideas. They're very large ideas. And to help out, on pages 194 through 196, there's a manageable list of tasks that help towards organization. I love a list. It gives me some parameters, some guidance on how to get from point A to point B. So thank you for that list. Takeaway number 2, innovation. Innovation within the form is one of the ways that Abby Carlozo refers to the use of improvisation in the embodying rhythm section of the book. So Carlozo goes to Burkina Faso with the idea of using improvisation as a tool to uncover their dance history, as they are working with native Awa Nakimia, and has this epiphany, this recollection, this shift in how they have to view improvisation, which tickled me a little, because in an earlier book that we discussed, Dance Pedagogy in a Diverse World, we're given this information of looking at how we view improvisation, how improvisation is used in vernacular forms, in the social dance forms, how it's embedded in those forms, and being mindful of that as an instructor, so that when we go into a class and we hearken on improvisation, we're doing it in a more inclusive kind of way. What was interesting in this book is that it is the learner and not the instructor that has to have this shift in the way that they're looking at improvisation. Improvisation and movement of West Africa and the African diaspora is not only a way to honor traditions, it demonstrates mastery of technique and knowledge. It encourages dialogue and supports the growth and innovation of the form. Takeaway number 3 is also coming from that same section, and it's temporary ownership / access. So Carlozo references a quote by Dr. Kariamu Welsh that speaks to oral tradition and how dancers access this tradition within the movement. So through movement, the dancers briefly take ownership of history with a plot, a form, and the structure of the story, but there's still space for reshaping that story. So when I dance funga, when I dance funga, I am tapping into the history of Kibibi Ajanku, who is the person that taught it to me, but I'm also tapping into their history, the history of their instructors, their dance instructors, all the way back to Pearl Primus and further back. I am tapping into the embodied history of everybody that this movement has come across before it got to me. And through the sequencing that I choose, the sequence of movements that I choose, I'm taking a brief ownership of that history. I'm innovating that history. And when it's all said and done, due to the ephemeral nature of dance, the only thing that's left is the imprint that is left in the minds and in the souls of the people who shared space with me. So this new history now lives in the people, not a book. And because it lives in the people, that movement is allowed to travel, that history is allowed to travel. That's a beautiful thing, right? Moving history. It's a beautiful thing. Well, here's another beautiful thing. Dialogue encourages growth via sharing of ideas. So make sure you drop some comments down there. Also, see the link in the details if you are interested in learning more about West African dance. Stay blessed, spread a good word, and I'll see you next week.